Hey, good morning, guys. This is Taib from Kicks.com. I have some time this morning to squeeze in this projection post on YouTube for you guys. Again, I've changed my screen share option from Google Hangout to Screencast because Google Hangout was taken out. So I'm still trying to get used to this new software that I'm using now. So last week we saw the release of the Jordan 4 FIBA, and I knew that she was gonna flop as far as like resale and stuff like that. So I didn't care to like really do much about it. So I wrote some stuff on it on my website, but I didn't really like publish it because I just felt like people weren't really that interested. But the Knicks threes, maybe. So I wrote the article yesterday, and I wanted to share with you today. Now, before I do that, I always want to show you pictures. And right off the bat, like I went on Nike, couldn't find any pictures on Nike, which is absurd. So I went on House of Heat, and he has some of the best pictures that I've seen online. So this shoe looks just like the True Blue threes with the orange highlights. Again, that's the reason why the people are calling it the Knicks, because that's the Knicks colorway, blue and orange or red. So this is the shoe, and in the 90s, the Knicks and the Bulls were rivals. So I guess the whole thing goes with it. Now, the morning show is not for me to talk too much about the actual inspiration behind it, but to make a projection. So I'll show you the shoe real quick. This is the one of the sides. On the other side, the Jumpman is orange. You have the cement print on the tip of the toe box, cement print on the eye stay, and cement print on the overlay near the heel, and orange highlight on the midsole and some of the lace holes. And this is pretty much it. Good looking shoe. It's going to be $190, and it's coming out on Saturday. The sock liner has blue and orange, again highlighting the Knicks colorways and their uniform, and your typical outsole, again more orange and blue highlights on it. Alright, so now let's go into the article and we're going to talk about it. So basically, the first thing that I do, if you know how I run this projection, is I always want to go first on third-party marketplaces to see how the shoe is performing. And when I went on eBay and a couple other places, I mean, people aren't really buying that shoe, so I'll get to that at some point. But now we want to focus on, is it going to be limited? A little bit, but it's not going to be something that people are, you're not going to have a hard time getting it. So accessibility is going to be easy. And I want to show you what I found when I went on Footlocker, Champs, and then Footaction. Now, most of the time when I want to do my projection, I always use Footlocker because they provide the best information, and I lean on their data from the release map locator, and that's what I use all the time. So first thing we do is I always want to go on Footlocker. This is Footaction. Footlocker, you can see there that the shoe is spreading like gangrene. That's like everybody's getting it. A lot of people are getting it. So I went, and what I did was I hand counted every single store. So I went from state to state. And there's one thing that I want to point out is launch procedure is first come, first serve, which means the shoe is going to be available in massive numbers. All right. And Footaction got this. Again, it's massively produced from Footaction, and Champs is about the same thing. So I counted like it's a rigorous work. So I went through every single state and I tried to find as much information that I could get. So that's what I did yesterday. It took me about 3 hours to get that done. All right. So when I did Footlocker, Footlocker has about 335 stores that were allocated. And then Footaction has about 142 out of the 210 stores. And then Champs has about 141 out of all the 539 Champs stores. So Champs is not so much the urban side of Footlocker's family. So you can see that they have the same amount that Footaction is getting, which is intriguing to me. And then I wanted to put it on the pie chart to show you exactly what it looks like. Okay, this is the pie chart. So this is Champs has 141, Footaction 142, Footlocker 335. So basically Footlocker gets more than half of what both of these guys are getting. They're getting a lot. All right. And again, Footlocker is like their grandfather or the father figure or the godfather, and then everybody else depends on Footlocker. Now, the first thing we want to do is this. Now, we want to set up our assumption. So again, I'm always assuming that Footlocker, Footaction, and Champs will get about 1/3 of the entire inventory. And then their online location will get about 1/4 of the inventory the stores are getting. And eSpay will also get about 1/4 of the number of all the 3 online allocations. Alright, so that means I'm going to break it down once you look further down here. So now the other difficult part is to figure out how many shoes per store. And I put, at this point I said 18 because House of Hoops may get like 70 pairs, but some select Footlocker, like in my region, there's like 2 House of Hoops that I know of, but there's another location that's getting it that's not a House of Hoop. So they probably get about 18 and everybody else maybe 70. So to be more fair, I'm going to set it at 18 to be more fair. And with that said, to find the numbers, we just have to do some simple multiplication. So for Footlocker, it's going to be 335 times 18. For Footaction, it's going to be 142 times 18. And for Champs, it's going to be 141 times 18. And those numbers are the number of stores allocated. And the 18 is the number of pairs per store. And then you get the total. And the total gives me 6. I add it all together and I divide it by 4 to get the online allocation. And the online allocation will be 2781. And then each pair is going to get about a quarter of that. So I do 2781 divided by 4. We get 696. And then again, and to get the total number for Footlocker and family, I'm going to take all these numbers and I'm going to add them up together. So it's going to be 6030 plus 2556 plus 2538 plus 2781 and then plus 696. We get roughly 12,062, and I took it down to 12,000 pairs. Now that's just from Footlocker, and I'm thinking the grand total, which is everything that Nike does for the United States, will be 12,000 times 3, because we assume that Footlocker and then all its branches are going to get about a third. So everybody else included will be 36,000 pairs. And then to get the total from the entire worldwide, it's going to be 36,000 times 2, because I'm assuming North America is going to get about half of all the inventory, and everybody else is going to get half, which is every other country in the world. All right. So it's 72,000 pairs. Now the next question is this: should you cup to flip? Because a lot of people want to buy these sneakers and they want to resell it, and I'm not against that, but you got to be smart about your decision. Now the Obsidian one was a good one, but this one here, you'll be surprised. So usually I only rely on like eBay and StockX's numbers. So I went a little bit further. I went to Kixify and I gathered data from Kixify, from eBay, and from StockX. Now eBay only had like 4 sales yesterday, and the sales were $239 for a size 12, $240 for a size 9, and $240 for a size 10.5, and then $280 for a size 10, and that was on August the 10th. So based on these records, the average value on eBay is $250, and that can be deceiving because you're thinking, wow, this is a good average, but it's not, because that $280 occurred on August the 10th, which is a month and a half ago. That's a long time. Times has passed by, and then the shoe has dropped in value. So let's not do that. So what I did was I just kicked that out because that was an outlier, and I'll stick with $239.99, $240, and $240, and we got an average about $240 for eBay. Now, Kixify record, you can verify if you want. If you think I'm like making up these numbers, you can go on eBay and look yourself. This is the picture, okay? This is only a few sales, 3 sales. That's pretty poor. And I did the same thing on Kixify, and I found 3 here, another 8, and another 2, and altogether on Kixify it was 13 pairs. All right, so $265 for 10 pairs, and then $255 for 3 pairs, and the total came to 13 pairs sold in total. So to find the average, you take the 265, you multiply that by 10, take the 255, multiply that by 3, add them all up together, and divide the entire thing by 13, and you get 262.69. And StockX's average as of yesterday was 210, but I wanted to show you some here. The shoe is going down, like a size 11.5 sold for $195, which is pretty amazing. To think that the shoe is not even out, and for the shoe to be available for less than retail, that's pretty incredible. All right. Now, StockX, since yesterday, they only sold 24 pairs. Kixify sold 13 pairs, and then eBay sold about 4 pairs. And I put all these numbers in my table here. This is histogram. So StockX has its lowest average, 210. Kixify has the highest average at 262, and eBay comes at 240. But eBay's numbers are deceiving because only 3 pairs are sold. So most people are not buying through eBay anymore because of all the bootlegs that they've been selling. So a lot of people are trusting Kixify, and Kixify happens to have like the highest average there because they're kind of tied up with Kicks on Fire. So people are thinking they're buying from Kicks on Fire, but they're actually buying from individuals, which is good. Now, StockX is probably the primary destination for everybody. They know it's gonna be cheap. They know they can set their own prices, so they're paying $210. So if you ask me, should you buy the flip? I would say don't do it, because guess what? The retail price of the shoe is $190. That's before tax. So if you live in Maryland, you're gonna be paying about $201. If you sell on StockX, that's not even the fees taken. The fees not even taken out. It's $210. So you're gonna be at a deficit. So conclusion: don't buy the flip. Do not do it. You're gonna waste your money. And I'm sure the shoe is gonna go to the outlet in the next 3-4 months. DTLR or all these places are gonna get the shoe, and at some point, what's gonna happen is it's gonna drop in value. You're gonna be able to get it. So I won't rush it, but if you want it so bad, you go ahead and I give you a list of people here that are selling it. You can buy from these people. All right. So I hope this helps, guys, and thanks for watching. And if you have any question, you want me to do one of this breakdown on any other sneaker, please do send me a message. And do check my store, because I've started this House of Kicks online shop. Basically what I do is I'll go to a store, and when I see a shoe on the wall that I like, I'll take pictures and I'll put it on my website. You can buy it, and I'm only charging you 10% to go pick it up, and 10% for the fees, eBay, PayPal fees, and then shipping fees, and then tax. So I saw this a couple of days ago. So you can go on the website and the store and click the store section, and it's going to show you all these shoes that I've seen, and I took pictures of them. All right. Thanks for watching. This is Ty from House of Kicks, and stay tuned.